as Phoenix turns it over. Boy, Jokic, a little bit of contact. Boy, that potentially could get dangerous.
Nuggets have 5 on 4, and Jokic, oh no! No!
We all know Nikola Jokic. He is one of the best NBA players in the world, winning 2 consecutive MVP awards and being probably the best passing big man in NBA history. He is also one of the most likable players in the league, as it is a rare sight to see him acting unsportsmanlike or being a troublemaker. But as he is usually the best defensive player on the court, opposing players will try every way possible to get into his head and get him out of his rhythm. Well, that's when they will see the Balkan mentality of the Joker. And as a special gift, they just might meet his older brothers as well. Let's see who and why has had the privilege to meet this side of Nikola. Being down 3-0 in a playoff series is frustrating to say the least. Like any other human being, Nikola Jokic was getting less and less patient as the series went on, with things finally escalating in the third quarter of Game 4 of the 2021 Western Conference semifinal series between the Nuggets and the Suns. While being down by 8, the Nuggets had the chance to get the difference down to 6, but Jokic went for an untypically tough floater which hit the side of the rim. As Bridges grabbed the rebound, he immediately passed the ball to Cameron Payne so the Suns can start their offense. A furious Nikola Jokic hit Payne and tensions rose high. Devin was the first to react to this foul and jumped on the Joker. While not a typical trash-talking situation, as Jokic was the reason it all went south, this loss flipped the switch for upcoming Joker performances against the Suns. Ever since this loss, the Nuggets are on a positive streak against the Suns, with Jokic delivering an unbelievable performance on Christmas Day in 2022. In a game where every possession mattered up to the very last, Nikola Jokic led his team to an overtime victory, and his 41 points, 15 rebounds, and 15 assists performance could be considered a Christmas gift for the Suns. Although he'll probably never say it, the situation in the playoffs seems like it was a start for a vendetta against the Suns. The 2017 NBA season was rough for the Lakers. They only managed to win 35 games, which was enough for the 11th seed in the Western Conference. Although the season was rough, it unleashed enough of the Lakers' talent to get into a deal for Anthony Davis with the Pelicans the following summer. One of the better talents was Julius Randle, who had a little too much confidence in himself in an already summarized game against the Nuggets. With 21 seconds left and the Lakers up by 9, Randle completely unnecessarily pushed Jokic to the ground. Jokic reacted immediately, and things got heated between the two teams for no reason at all. After this game, the two have met in a total of 9 games in 4 seasons, and Jokic and the Nuggets have a dominating record against Julius Randle. The majority of those wins came in a blowout fashion. It is fair to say that Jokic outplayed Randle in those games, with averages of 21.7 points, 10.2 rebounds, and 6.7 assists in 32 minutes per game. Russell Westbrook has always been a tough matchup for any player in the league. No matter the result, no matter the importance of the game, Russ plays hard, night in and night out, with the game between the Thunder and the Denver Nuggets already being decided. With the Nuggets up by 9 with 35 seconds left, Russ decided to get in the head of Jamal Murray, and things got chippy quickly. Jokic, not liking what he saw, quickly jumped in. This frustrated Westbrook, and he said some not very polite words to Jokic. In the next matchup, Joker replied to Russ and the Thunder. He bullied every player that tried to defend him, from Russ to Steven Adams. This resulted in 36 points, 9 rebounds, and 10 assists for Jokic, which were enough for a Denver Nuggets victory. I think it's safe to say that Russ learned his lesson the hard way: don't mess with the Joker. In a game between the Heat and the Nuggets, Denver was up by 17 with 2 minutes and 45 seconds left on the game clock. Morris, being the dirty player he is, fouled Jokic with a dirty foul mid-court. But little did he know he messed with the Bull. And what do you get for that? The horns, or in this case, a body check by Jokic, resulting in Morris missing 58 games due to the injury caused by the shove. The Heat jumped Jokic, and the one player that was most furious with Jokic was Jimmy Butler, who told the Joker to meet him in the back. Butler really looked for the Joker in the back, but I don't think he would have done much even if he found him. In the next game between these two teams, Jokic led the Nuggets to a comfortable 9-point win, finishing the game with 24 points, 15 rebounds, and 7 assists. Morris, on the other hand, never fully recovered after this. But you get what you ask for, unfortunately. Gary Payton was known for being an amazing defender, a great playmaker, and a leader of the Sonics in the late 90s. Another thing he was known for is being a massive trash talker. His son, Gary Payton II, in a matchup between the Warriors and the Nuggets in the 2022 playoffs, tried his father's ways of getting into the opposing player's head. Early in Game 2 of the series, after an offensive rebound, Jokic was met by Gary at the rim, getting his shot blocked in a fascinating fashion. Soon after, the Nuggets called a timeout, and that's when things escalated between the two. While the players were headed to their respective benches, Gary tapped Jokic on the butt, and although it didn't seem like he had any bad intentions, Jokic clearly didn't like this move by the Warriors player. Jokic saw this move differently, and got mad at the whole Warriors squad. And what happens when the Joker gets mad? He goes for 26 and 11, and since that wasn't enough to have a close game or a victory, he brought his game to an even higher level in the next 3 games. In the next 3 games, Jokic averaged 34.7 points, 15 rebounds, and 6.3 assists. He didn't even struggle to get to these numbers, as the Joker hit 66% of his shots from the field and 50% from his three-pointers, getting past each and every player that dared to interrupt his way to the rim. Unfortunately for Jokic and the Nuggets, these performances weren't capitalized, and the series ended in a gentleman's sweep. A 4-1 win for the Warriors. The Joker is out for revenge, it seems, with his last performance against the Warriors. 26 points, 12 rebounds, and 12 assists on 54% from the field, which this time were enough to get the win over Golden State. We'll see what the future matchups hold for us. Dwight Howard was a player who loved to joke around on the court, but also one who you could expect anything out of. Just like Nikola Jokic, Dwight's personality was what set him apart from other players, all while having some of the most monstrous performances night in and night out. When the Lakers and Nuggets met each other in the bubble playoffs, everybody was waiting to see how the once lockdown defender and 3-time Defensive Player of the Year would hold up against Nikola Jokic. Things got heated in Game 3, when Dwight shoved Jokic in an attempt to get to the loose ball. Dwight didn't like the call, and he made sure that everybody, most importantly the Joker, knew about it. He started talking to him and tried getting into his head. And believe it or not, it worked. Dwight played great for the rest of the series, and Jokic was held down to just 16 and 20 points in Games 4 and 5, enough to get the Lakers to the NBA Finals. But it doesn't end here. Although Dwight won this battle, Jokic won the next one, as he made a fool out of Dwight in their next matchup. Jokic got Dwight twisting and turning, with what seemed like a simple play, finally getting to an easy attempt at the rim after he got Dwight yet again with a nasty pump fake. If this play wasn't enough for a revenge on Dwight, after the bubble ended, the Nuggets are 4-1 in games they played against a Dwight Howard team, with Nikola Jokic averaging 20.6 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists in those games, on 64% from the field. So maybe that's why Dwight went to Taiwan. No jokers there, that's for sure. Another Defensive Player of the Year winner, who didn't seem like much of a defensive threat against Jokic, is Rudy Gobert. Just like Dwight, Rudy has won 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards in his career. And just like Dwight, he has been schooled by Jokic. After a foul call versus Gobert, the frustrated big man imitated Jokic's way of getting fouls. He tried his best, but wasn't close to the original. And the Joker wasn't about that. He was not going to get disrespected like that. So, in the next game, Jokic pulled out many of his best moves from his arsenal, toying with Rudy Gobert. He hit an unbelievable one-legged fadeaway jumper, but that jumper resulted in only 2 out of Jokic's 30 points against the French big man. Jokic ended the game with a triple-double, adding 21 rebounds and 10 assists to the 30. But the Joker wasn't done just yet. When it mattered the most during the playoffs, Jokic stepped up. In a thriller 7-game series, Jokic put up 26.3 points, 8.1 rebounds, and 5.4 assists, leading the Nuggets to a series victory over the Utah Jazz. If this wasn't enough for Rudy and the Jazz in their first matchup of the 2020-21 season, Jokic had another crazy performance. He ended the game with 47 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists, absolutely destroying them. Weirdly enough, that is the last win Jokic has had over Gobert, as the Nuggets have lost 4 straight to a Rudy Gobert squad. Despite the bad streak, Jokic has been great in those games as well, averaging 24 points, 9 rebounds, and 10.5 assists on 64% from the field. In a series tie between the Suns and the Nuggets in the 2023 Western Conference semifinals, as usual for a tied series, Game 5 is the crucial game no team wants to lose. The team that goes to win Game 5 in a tied series usually goes on to win the matchup. Game 5 wasn't the best for the Suns. Playing on the road, the team's supporting cast didn't contribute as much on the floor. While Durant and Devin did their thing, the bench only added 26 points to the Suns' total, and to no one's surprise, the Suns fell short to the Nuggets 102-118. This performance definitely had the players filled with frustration during the game, With half a minute to go in the third quarter, Bruce Brown tried to break into the Suns' huddle. Bruce got shoved out of the way by Durant, so after that, the Joker tried to do the same as he looked over the Suns' huddle. This time, Durant was even more furious, and he shoved him away as well. Jokic, being as experienced as he is, overreacted to the shove, causing a reaction from the fans as well. All of this happened in front of one of the referees, so Durant immediately got hit with a technical foul. KD pretty much got set up by the Joker. Guess we could say this is one of the Jokers up in Jokic's sleeve. We are back in the year 2023 and another playoff series between the Nuggets and Suns. This time the Nuggets have a 2-1 lead over the Suns, and Nikola Jokic is dominating in Game 4. The Nuggets' big man scored a remarkable 53 points to go along with 11 assists, but Denver still didn't manage to get the road win over the Suns, falling to a 129-124 loss. After scoring an NBA playoff career high, you would think that Jokic would be the major talking point from Game 4. And you would be right, but the talking wouldn't be for the reasons you may have expected, because late in the second quarter, there was an incident that outperformed even Jokic's scoring night. Late in the second quarter, the ball bounced towards the courtside seats with Suns wing Josh and Nuggets guard Jamal looking to track it down. The pair were unsuccessful in their attempts, with Josh flying into the front row. Jokic then trotted over to get the ball back in play for his team. A fan appeared to hold on to the ball, thwarting the Joker's plans, but this was not just any supporter. It was Phoenix Suns owner Matt. Jokic wrestled the ball out of Matt's hands, sending it further into the crowd. The Suns owner then appeared to put his hand on Jokic, who pushed back, resulting in the 43-year-old flailing back into his seat. The Joker received a technical foul for his behavior, and the league was up to decide whether he was going to play in Game 5 or not. Matt didn't want that to happen, as he publicly said that he understood why the Joker acted the way he did, and just hoped that he would play in Game 5, so we could all watch another great game. Jokic said that he would do the same thing against anybody in the Phoenix Suns camp. That's what I like to do, keep the game going. I just wanted to make fun, at least a little bit. And I was hoping he was going to pay my fine, but nah. Jokic didn't get any suspensions from the league and played in Game 5. He managed to make a statement, dropping 29 points, 13 rebounds, and 12 assists for a huge Denver Nuggets victory over the Suns. The Nuggets would go on to win the series in 6 and head to the Western Conference Finals. In the first quarter of a regular season game between the Orlando Magic and the Denver Nuggets, Nikola Jokic didn't get a call, even though he was clearly slapped multiple times while he attacked in the post. Frustrated because of the obvious referee mistake, Jokic ran at Terrence Ross, who got the rebound, and slapped him. The slap's intention was clearly to send a message to the referee, and what a message it sent. The referee obviously got scared from this move by Jokic and flinched hard. Obviously, this caused a reaction from the Magic players, but it was not until the next quarter that Terrence Ross returned a hard foul on Jokic. This was without a doubt a revenge play for Ross, who intentionally grabbed Jokic when the Joker tried to attack the rim. Even though this was a hard foul by Ross, it didn't get a reaction from Jokic, as he probably knew that what he did in the first quarter was wrong, and probably the main reason why Terrence acted the way he did later in the second. After the game, Ross went to Twitter and said, "Jokic did that to me too this year, literally slapped the black off me. At least there is no hard feelings about it." Let's look at it that way. In a playoff matchup between the Portland Trail Blazers and Denver Nuggets in the 2019 Western Conference semifinals, the Nuggets were up by 20 entering the fourth quarter of Game 5. With the series tied at 2 apiece, both teams played hard until the very last minute despite the score difference at the start of the fourth, because as we said previously, whoever wins Game 5 probably goes on to win the series. After a Seth Curry three-pointer, Jokic took the ball up the court and attacked Leonard in the post. He tried to attack early before the defense sets, and Leonard did everything he could to prevent it, pushing and shoving him on multiple occasions. This didn't manage to stop Jokic, as he still got a good shot off and was fouled in the act of shooting with yet another push from Leonard. The Joker didn't like that one bit and ran at Leonard and started talking trash to him. He was immediately pushed back by the other Portland players and the refs, and things quickly went back in order. The Nuggets managed to maintain the lead, winning the game and taking a series lead. However, they managed to lose both games 6 and 7 and were knocked out of the 2019 playoffs. Well, that's what happens when you try to trash talk Nikola Jokic. There are a few examples of cases like these, but most likely because players know better than trying their luck against the Serbian big man. If you can't stop him when he's calm, don't even try to get him mad. Let's hope some player will run his mouth soon, so we get even more of these unforgettable performances by the Joker himself, Nikola Jokic.